Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to join us today. We greatly appreciate your time. I think you're going to find this very, very valuable. We will look at a Social Security claiming and prospecting system with one of our national sales coaches and top producers, Mr. Dave Pimper. He will be joining us very, very shortly. Before Dave jumps on and we hand control over to him, we will go through just a few housekeeping items and a few introductory slides here shortly. I'll start with the housekeeping items. First thing is in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and this is probably the most important thing I will say today. That's our phone number. That number is 800-255-5055. If there is anything that we can do here at IAMS to assist you in the life or annuity markets, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love the opportunity to assist you. Second housekeeping item are polling questions. Throughout the presentation today, I will launch 3 polling questions. They are just simple yes or no buttons. If you would take the time to participate in those, we greatly appreciate everyone joining in on those. And then final housekeeping item are questions. Dave does a great job of taking questions while we're live and in session. So as we put information out to you, if you have questions, feel free to type them into the questions box, and we will try to get those answered while we are live and in session. Moving on to our first introductory slide here. All I'm going to talk about with IAMS Business Builders is putting dollars back into your pocket. We'll start with the Referred Producer Program. Our business here on the wholesale side of the industry is very similar to yours in the field, in that one of the best leads we could ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued clients, or you are valued advisors. So we want to make it worth your while to refer other individuals to us. When you refer an individual to us and they pick up any license through IAMS, we will send you a $50 thank you check. Now, where the real money comes into play is as your referral writes business, you will receive a 20 basis point override on the business that they write. We do cut these checks at least quarterly, and our ownership team signs checks for thousands of dollars at a time. So it can be very, very lucrative for you as well. That being said, if you can think of anyone that would benefit from doing business with us here at IAMS, please type their name into the questions box. Feel free to email it to me, scott@imsinc.com, or when we call to follow up, just let one of my sales directors know who the individual is, and we'll do the best we can to get them recruited over to us here at IAMS and get you on your way to earning some referred producer dollars. Below that is our marketing reimbursement system, most popular program we offer by far, and it's popular because we put very, very few restrictions on this. Rough numbers: for every $100,000 in FIA premium you place through IAMS, we'll put $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. We don't cap your account. We don't tell you you've got to roll it out at a certain time, and we also don't restrict the vendors that you can utilize for your marketing. Basically, if you have a vendor that you've had success with in the past, we just want to help you continue that relationship. All we'd ask is you send us an invoice or a receipt from the marketing you purchased, and we'll cut you a check hopefully that same day to offset that cost. That being said, if you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account, or you want to have more detailed conversation about how the program works, just let us know. We'd certainly love to chat with you about that. New producer builders, my apologies. You've probably seen some more updated information than this. Apparently, we didn't get this slide updated. We now have levels for new producer bonus rolling out to the $1 million range. It is all based on production within your first 180 days of being licensed with us here at IAMS. And as you can see in these levels, and it continues all the way up, there's great options for you: business building tools, personal perks, all available to you. Of course, access to our creative department and everything that we offer there as well. If you have questions about the new producer builder program, just let us know. Certainly, I'd love to walk you through how it works. Back office support. This slide is the heart of who we are here at IAMS, helping you to work smarter, not harder. We're going to do that with great business building tools and resources. You've just seen a couple of business building tools that we highlighted there very quickly. Resources such as daily trainings on our webinars available to you. A lot of great stuff out there for you. I'll mention IAMSinc.com here. You'll hear me mention it again in just a minute, but a lot of great resources on our website at IAMSinc.com. Below that, we're going to talk about case design assistance and life and annuity quotes. We're going to make a commitment to our advisors that if you need a case design or you need illustrations to help you make a sale, we're going to have that out to you same day that you requested. If you request it before 3 p.m. Central Time. If it's after 3 p.m., we'll try to get it to you same day, but might be first thing the next morning. But we are committed to having those out to you. We call it a 24-hour guarantee, but it should be significantly less than 24 hours. Forms at your fingertips. I'll mention IAMSinc.com again. You can get a ton of forms there. We will appoint you direct to carrier if you're not already appointed with us, so you can go to carrier sites. Of course, you can call us at 800-255-5055, and we will get you the forms you need, overnighted, emailed, whatever you need to help you write business. We are committed to that. Submission to commission support. What we're talking about here is our back office, who is essentially your back office. Amber Williams and our entire new business team do a great job. We will scrub applications for you. We will submit applications on your behalf. We will track those applications for you through the issuance process to ensure that you get commissioned as quickly as possible. I challenge anyone on the call with us today, if you haven't utilized our new business team, your next piece of business, please do so. There's no cost to you, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much faster you will be commissioned and your policy will be issued because of the efforts of Amber Williams and her team. They do an amazing job. Below that, top sales expertise and coaching. You're about to see one of our top sales coaches and what he does, or top producers and national sales coach, Dave Pimper, and what he does exactly in his practice that has made him so successful. We have several individuals throughout the country that are committed to helping the IAMS producers grow their practice so we can get you access to other top producers to help you grow your business. And that paperless contracting, our last bullet point, we are on the SuranceBay platform. With that, if you aren't on there, we will add you on. If you ever need to pick up a new carrier, all we have to do is click a button, send you an email, and you will confirm via email that you want that carrier, and it's all started. The days of filling out individual licensing apps, those are gone. Creative marketing solutions. I know I mentioned it earlier, but we do have an in-house creative team here that do a great job. We can help you with turnkey solutions. So if you are looking for flyers, postcards, mailers, newsletters, anything like that, we've got them. We can import your information onto that document and make it look like you created it at your office. Speaking of importing your information, definitely with the agency solutions section, if you haven't created a consistent and customized brand for your practice, I'd tell you to do so. I think it's a great exercise for everyone to do. And the consistency of that brand will help you with name recognition, will help you in your natural market to be more recognizable. We can certainly assist you with that. And then digital solutions. If you are looking to have a website created, if you're looking to have your website overhauled, email marketing, online newsletters, social media consulting, we can certainly help you with that. If you have any questions on this, call your sales director here at IAMS. We'd love to walk you through what we can do. I mentioned it a couple times already today, IAMSinc.com. When we're done with this presentation, if you haven't created an account, please go out, do it. You'll see a lot of great tools for you. Annuity quote engine, life quote engine, sales resource library. Our E&O partnership is out there if you're looking to renew your errors and omissions. Firelight access to do e-applications out there, product news, product grids, a lot of great stuff out there for you. So if you haven't created an account, please do so as soon as we end our presentation here. Retirement Analyzer. If you're not using a software suite to help you present to clients and help your clients understand why you're making the recommendations that you are, I'd tell you to take a look at Retirement Analyzer. Not only is it a great holistic planning tool, I also think it's a great closing tool because it will help your client to see exactly how much longer into their retirement years their money will last, or if it's a legacy sale, how much more money they will leave to the next generation or to their spouse upon their demise. It's a great, great tool. Marcus Solar in our office is our point man for that. If you'd like a free trial of it, we've got some great trainings on it. Just let Marcus know. He can certainly get that information out to you. IAMS Wealth Management. As I talk about IAMS Wealth Management, I'm going to launch our first polling question of the day. And what I'm going to ask you is if you'd like more information. If you click yes, you'll receive an automated email and a phone call from Sarah or Mike in our wealth management office. What we did with IAMS Wealth was open it about 3 years ago. We opened it specifically to help our insurance advisors add a new revenue stream into their practice, and we've done so with great success. We've got great training partners if you're looking to pass the 65 that we can help you study up for it and get through it. We've got a great technology platform, great investment platform, and because we did put together such an attractive package, we've seen a lot of existing IARs kick the tires of IAMS Wealth and move over to us. I'd tell you, if you are an existing IAR, you need to click yes, at least entertain the conversation. I think you'll be really impressed with what it is we bring to the table. And furthermore, you'll be really impressed, and your clients will be really impressed with the fee structure that we make available. That being said, I've had the poll open for about a minute here. I don't want to spend too much time with the poll open, so if you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would please do so. We certainly appreciate everyone's participation there. All right, thank you everyone, appreciate that. Moving on, I'm going to launch our second poll here, and then we will be done with polls for a bit. And what I'm going to ask you is if you would like more information about our upcoming Life and Annuity Academy. And this is a timely topic because we do have dates for our next academy. And I'm backing out here in my calendar just so I can see it. May 6th, 7th, and 8th in West Des Moines, Iowa. We will be partnered with Athene Annuity. They've been a great partner to us for these in the past. I will tell you that this is an all expenses paid event, and we do focus on helping advisors grow their practice. This isn't a product roadshow. We'll bring in the sales or the head of departments from here at IAMS. So myself, Amber Williams, Jacob Tedlock, Charles R. Hiring, Curtis Hawks will be there. Steve Murray, possibly Charles Hiring Sr. will be there to talk with you about what we do to help producers on an individual basis grow their practice. Now, what I think is the most valuable, in my opinion, in these sessions is that we do bring in our sales coaches from throughout the country. And as I said earlier, to be a sales coach at IAMS, you not only have to talk the talk, but you must walk the walk. And these are upper 1% of commission and fee earners in the industry. So these are top producers that will show you exactly what it is they do that has made them so successful and give you the ability to implement it in your own practice and take it home with you. That being said, I do believe Dave has jumped on with us, and if he is here, I'd love to hear his commentary on the Life and Annuity Academy. Dave, can you hear us?
Hey, Mr. Earhart, how are you doing?
Good, buddy. Good. Thank you for your time.
Good. Oh,
Any
yeah,
commentary?
no problem. Yeah, I just want to say this. There are a lot of dog and pony shows by FMOs. I mean, there's, and I've been to many of them over my lifetime. The difference with IAMS is, and remember, I'm a coach for IAMS, so I don't work for IAMS, but I have kind of a good insight of why, if I'm a producer, would I want to go, hopefully be invited, kind of accepted into that Annuity Academy, is that instead of just product oriented, it's much more sales, lead generation, prospecting, how to run a business, because that's really what we're doing. When you're in the insurance business, or I'm self-employed, I have a broker dealer that I do my broker dealer business through, but my insurance business, of course, is self-employed. I own that shop, and we should run it like a business, not be just a salesperson, but run it like a business. And we talk a lot about that, during the 2.5 days. Remember, to take yourself basically out of the field, even though when IAM says we pay for everything, that's wonderful, but they aren't paying for the production that you're out of for those 3 days. So I mean, if you can't pick up one or two good things and put one or two good things into action, shame on you. I mean, we've got 3 different coaches. I'm one of them. I specifically talk about seminar marketing, a radio host marketing, a little bit maybe on the sales process. That's my expertise, to bring that production up. And the other coaches have their expertise, but those are actual people that are very good, top producers in the field. They're banging the doors day in and day out, and they're helping you, not just mentoring where you follow them, but giving you the best advice they can, and helping you, not just at the workshop, but if you go and you work with them, they're going to go in and handhold you too. So I'll tell you right now, if you haven't been to an insurance agency marketing services IAMS Annuity Academy, you should go, because it's a very very well time invested, hopefully, for yourself.
Hey, Dave, thank you for the kind words, and as always,
Sure.
thank you for helping us. We couldn't put these events on without you and the other sales coaches that do so much for us there.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely.
That being said, I'm going to close this poll down, and we'll get moving on here. Couple of things I just want to highlight before we hand it over to Dave. We are still qualifying for the IAMS Athene exclusive trip down to Cabo. Qualifying goes through the June 30th, so still plenty of time to get there. Athene's a great partner to us, as you've probably picked up with the First Academy, being with them, and they're going to help us on this beautiful, beautiful trip to the Montage in Cabo. Simultaneously, we are qualifying for the IAMS Marketing Summit. That qualification runs through the end of the year. Your Athene business does count towards this as well, so you can qualify for 2 trips with every Athene dollar you place through IAMS. We'll be at the Secrets in Puerto Vallarta. Super excited about that. And for someone, if you want to shoot a little bit higher, we are also qualifying for the Elite Summit. That will be a direct extension of the Marketing Summit, an extra few days. This will be at the Four Seasons in Punta Mita. If you have questions about how to get there or what we can do to help you qualify for 1, 2, maybe all 3 of the trips, let us know. We'd certainly love to have that conversation with you. And that being said, I'm going to give control to Mr. Pimper here, and we will get into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation. Dave, I believe you should have control now.
Okay, thank you very much. I will go in, and the tech wonder I am, I'll see if I can go in and have controls of this. So I think I do. Let's see. I'm over here somewhere. Good. Okay. Hey, I appreciate everybody on. We got. Oh yeah. Hey, we're loaded up here today, Scott. That's great. Hey, Scott, if you're still,
Yep,
if you can hear
I'm
me,
here. Yep.
I am going to be done in 1/2 of an hour. I have an appointment at the top of the hour, and so I need to get out for that. Actually, it's a Social Security appointment, which is wonderful. And so I'm going to go through those slides and help some folks. And I'll just tell you real quickly, I've been in the business since 1981, so I'm an old timer. My dad had a car dealership. When Chrysler was having all the trouble in the late 70s, early 80s, I got into the financial service arena. 3 years with insurance for the first 3 years, and then I do more securities business for the last years. But about 20-25% of my business is fixed indexed, and then the rest is some kind of fee-based or other type of securities. We're in a great profession. I don't think it's ever been better. And if you're showing fixed index, you're fixed. If you're not, you should, because I'll tell you what happens is, especially when the times get tougher, which believe me, the markets don't go up forever. 10 years, 6 months, or 7 months into the bull market without a 20% bear market, it's unheard of. It's never happened before. But I coach for IAMS, and it's a proprietary arrangement with me, just working with them, which it wasn't before, but it has been for years and years. I've coached for them for 14 years now. I've been with them for 15 years of running my business through them. And what we're going to do today is just talk to you about, I'm going to educate you first a little bit on Social Security. Get a load of this, only 12% of everybody on the line today, So if there's 100 folks on the line, only 12 people could do what I'm doing right now, really understand the ins and outs of Social Security. So I want you to put your ears up if you don't really understand Social Security in and out. I want you to put your ears up if you're doing Social Security seminars and maybe you're paying $3,500 or $4,000 to get your 35, 40 people in. We're talking about $2,500 guaranteed for you to get 25 buying units. So fairly unheard of. I shopped at the big three social media marketers, and you've heard at least one or two of those. They're all big players. And one was $4,850, one was $5,350, and one was $6,300. We're doing it for $2,500. And say, so how the heck can you do it for that? I'm not sure. I think there is a little help, if I'm not mistaken, by IAMS to keep that price as low as possible. But included in that is 3 coaching sessions with myself. So besides just getting people to talk to, you're going to learn about Social Security. So if you're working that pre-retired or retired marketplace and you don't really understand Social Security, shame on you. 60% of the people say that it is a major source of income in retirement, and you don't know the ins and outs of it. You should, and I can help you. Learn. So those are a few of the slides that we have going. All of those slides, which you don't see today, but all of those slides do have language also. Okay, so I cannot jump too far here. I got ahead of myself a little bit, so I'm going to jump back. Okay, here we go. This slide here is pretty cool. Some pretty neat information. This comes from Mary Beth Franklin, who writes in Investment News, many of future retirees threaten to switch from advisors who don't offer guidance. Let me read it again. Majority of future retirees threaten to switch from advisors who don't offer guidance. Did I just tell you that only 12% of all advisors, I don't care if you're an insurance agent with Prudential, whether you're with Bright House, whether you're with UBS, a broker, whether you're with Merrill Lynch, whether you're with Edward Jones, independent, RIA, only 12% really understand Social Security. Here's a quote. Nearly 80% of future retirees who work with a financial advisor say they would switch advisors to maximize their Social Security benefits. How do I know that? I've had many people say, well, if you know that much about Social Security, I'm going to have you look at my investments also. Quote, many financial advisors shy away from Social Security conversations because they don't feel they know enough about the complex topic, which is so true. So I make a topic to try to make it simpler. I'm coaching an 83-year-old producer right now. 83. He doesn't know a thing about Social Security. He wants to get in front of more people. Don't you love it? And he's getting it, which is really, really cool. Despite the apparent reluctance among some financial advisors to offer Social Security guidance, it seems to be an increasing priority for clients. I can't tell you how true that is. If you don't know Social Security, I don't coach just Social Security alone. I coach it with, because knowing everything about Social Security, say you're an engineer and you know everything about Social Security, your left brain is all get out, but you're not seeing any clients, it may make you a better advisor or agent or producer, but it doesn't make you more money. And that's how you stay in business and service your clients. That's what I do. I take a complicated subject and I make it easier to understand. If you got any questions whatsoever, certainly type them on up. I'm more happy to answer them. We don't do any hard mailings anymore. We do strictly Facebook marketing. We got a vendor that's, my gosh, he talks, campaign budget optimization, artificial intelligence. Dave, you should see what the pixels, how they're retargeting. Do I know what any of that means? Maybe 1%. I mean, I'm going to be 65 years old. Pixels were little fairies or little people when I was young. I mean, I have no idea what a pixel is. But I'll tell you right now is that this works. This gets people to the workshop. I can't believe of how many, especially women, are on social media. And we get more women now than we ever had, and I love it. I mean, I just did business $192,000 from a Social Security workshop. Here's a single lady, just retired, and that was her rollover. She came to the Social Security workshop. Yeah. So Facebook for us is a way to go, and we got a vendor that is very competitive. Now, the Tax Cuts and the Jobs Act, we don't have this anymore. That got signed into law 2 years ago, but we do have 4 slides on the Secure Act. Okay? So those are out. I just haven't updated it. New ones are in, but the Secure Act, we're going to talk about just what the Secure Act is supposed to do, and that's to basically just firm up the retirement system. One of the big things is about IRAs. Required minimum distributions went from 70.5 to 72. That's another year and a half that the person is able to go on in and let their money defer with growth, which is a great thing. Beneficiary IRAs, they're still around, but they can't be taken out over a lifetime, say for the kids. They can only be taken out over 10 years. Doesn't touch the spouse. The spousal privilege is for lifetime, but the kids, anyone outside of the husband and wife, 10 years is the maximum, and now they're going to take, if they're going to inherit it or stretch out that IRA, in 10 years we talk about that. We talk about how with IRAs now, traditional, once you started taking out at 70.5, you couldn't continue to put in if you had earned income. Now you can forever, as long as you have earned income, just like Roths, you can. And the last thing is about 401ks with small companies like myself. It was very hard for us to offer them because of the cost of administration, but now they're going to band together into groups and to share that cost to keep cut cost way down like you're a big plan. Also, income lifetime annuities have never been shown in retirement plans like 401ks, and now they're going to be, and they're going to be safe harbored by the government. So there's a less liability for the folks who bring them on in. They can't be held responsible. Okay, so why does the government want that? Replace the pension, of course. Those are kind of there's workshops just on the new Secure Act. We're putting 4 slides in, and we're getting good talk and good hits as far as attendees when it comes to about the new Secure Act. Okay. A stroll down memory lane. Social Security started in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They had to build up the trust fund. First check was issued in 1940. In 1935, the average age of a person for living was 62. They died at 62. Interesting enough, Social Security couldn't start early, couldn't start late. You could only start at 65. Don't you love those odds if you're the government? I'll pay you at 65, and I know the majority of you are going to die before that. That isn't the way now, is it? No. In fact, a newborn today, right towards the age of 80 for longevity. In 61, under Kennedy, they went in and made law that you could take early, a reduced benefit you could take early, and then shortly after that, they said if you wait, you could take longer. Automatic cost of COLAs, cost of living allowances, inflation, started in 1975. So it's averaged about 3.7% a year since 1975. The last 10 years has averaged about 2%. We're in a very low interest rate environment. Only 3 years there hasn't been a COLA, 2010, 11, and 16. So most of the time there are COLAs. Is Social Security taxable? Well, it depends. If you don't make any money, it's not taxable, or very little money. But if you're over certain brackets, and we'll talk about those later, but in 83, Ronald Reagan, the trust fund was about depleted, and he shook hands with Tip O'Neill across the aisle. Doesn't happen today, does it? No, not very bipartisanship friendly. But that's what they did. And if you're over the certain brackets, you're taxed 50% of your Social Security tax. If it's above a higher bracket, then 93% of your Social Security is taxed. Bill Clinton put that into law 10 years later in 93. Bipartisan Budget Act did away with file and suspend, and I had quite a few people that I was coaching back then, and they said, we're done. That's the sizzle. Sizzle's out. I tell you what, file and suspend was phased out in 6 months. Restricted application, I have it still in my slides because it is around if you're old enough until January 1 of 2024. But to tell you the truth, that isn't why people come to this, to hear the sizzle. They come to get the steak. They come to get the nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts on what? Nuts and bolts on when they should claim their benefit. Nuts and bolts on spousal benefits, survivor benefits, divorced benefits. That's the nut and bolts of Social Security. That's where 90% of my questions It's fun to talk about restricted still and getting that free money from the spouse and let yours grow. But you know what? That's the sizzle. People come for the steak. Just remember that. People, I applaud the people that got out of the seminar business. That's just more business for me and you and the other folks that are doing Social Security seminars can do. Why don't you ever see Social Security Administration giving Social Security seminars to educate the public? Have you ever? None. Can you say nada, none, zero, never? Why? Because unbelievably, the Social Security Administration, where everybody gets their information from, they can't give you advice on Social Security claiming. True. Scouts honor, my hands raised, fingers up. They can give you the highest benefit right now, or your estimated benefit at 70. They cannot scenario plan. They can't tell you, here's what I would do. Here's the options. They don't do that. Who does that? Moi, Dave Pimper does that. Somebody's shown this, and I put this Social Security workshop together, so I'm kind of proud of it. IAMS did all the creative work on it. It's a simple. This is not complicated. The most simple presentation explained simply will still be a lot of information to digest for the public when they watch this. Almost 60% of retirees count their Social Security to be, it actually should say the major source of income, not just a major, but it's the major source of income. Any questions? Type them on in. This is one of the greatest slides. Came from Janet Herron in USA Today. Listen to this. I took it word for word on 3 excerpts in the headline. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. Don't you think, you guys and gals, when the attendees, the 20 attendees are in there, 25 attendees, don't their ears just perk up? Who wants to lose $100,000 in retirement? Can you say nobody? Yeah, nobody does. It's from Janet Herron last July. Bullet point number 1, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Bullet point number 2, retirees will lose an average of, fairly unbelievably, $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. You know what? My wife and I are the same age. I can say this. She's not on the webinar with us, but we're both going to be 65 this year. Hallelujah. Graduated 73 from high school. So what do we got to do? Got to go get Medicare, don't we? So at 62 was the first year Social Security was available. We maxed out our Social Security by how? By my wife taking it at 62 and me taking it at 70. She didn't have to wait longer. We could max out our benefit. So I always say Social Security is the worst water cooler talk by far that there is. Hey, I took it 62 and you should too, Dave. Hey, I took it 70 and you should too, Dave. There are so many things that are independent of why your benefit is going to be different than the person next to you. Like what? Like how long you're going to live. Like what the history is of your family from health. Like how much assets you have how much income you have. What your expenses are. How many of those things are Social Security Administration help going to ask you? Zero. They can't give advice. They can't ask personal questions. Yeah, they can't. We do for the best interest of our client. I'm very careful, but I just was talking. She's a professional gal, and she's turning 66, and she retired, and she's obese. She's huge. I'm sure 400 plus pounds. She does have diabetes, but she thinks she's going to live to 85. I just don't think so. I think she has a lot of odds against her. So I got to be very delicate here. But I told her that with everything looking at me, there's no reason not for her to take it now when she's retired. And she actually has some debt left. I said, pay your debt. I got to be careful. But you know what? The chance of her living to 85 is small. She may not know that. I think deep down she probably does, just doesn't want to admit it. But we're helping people claim at the right time, which is a big, big deal. Retirees will lose an average of $111 in income per household over their lifetime because why? They took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. God, how strong is that slide? That slide gets a lot of appointments, I'll guarantee you. If you have any questions, type them on in. Be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay? So we'll see if we can advance the slide here. Now, the basics of Social Security, the earliest you can take it is 62. You take it at a discount, the latest you can take it is 70. Let it grow from full retirement age, which is somewhere between 66 and 67. It grows, guaranteed. And then you turn it on at a bigger amount. And then FRA, full retirement age or normal retirement age, when you get your full benefit. If you're born from 1943 to 1955, your full retirement benefit is age 66. I was born in I made a mistake there. 1943 to 1954 is 66. I was born in 55, so I had 2 months. If I was born in 56, it'd be 4 months. 57, 6 months. 1960 or later, 67. A newborn baby born today, 67. Unless they change it down the road, is the full retirement age for that baby. Social Security has a lot of benefit. Lifetime income starting at $2,000. Let's say at 2.8% cost of living. What is cost of living this year for 2020? Anybody know? Well, if you said 1.6%, you're right. How about last year? If you said 2.8%, you're correct. Year before, 2%. Yep. Cost of living is mainly down this year because of energy. Oil costs are down, under $50 a barrel right now. But a $2,000 benefit, grown at 2.8% over 10 years, gives you over $300,000. 20 years, $250,000 in 30 years, $1.1 million. Had a couple yesterday. Did a Social Security analysis review. It's just powerful. And over their lifetime to maximize the benefit was just shy of $2 million between the two of them. That's a heck of a benefit, isn't it? It's a big, big benefit. So I have 5 myths, but I'm not going to cover all the myths today. I'm going to cover 3 of the myths. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going the wrong way here. Well, I don't know why that is. Oh, I think that's the one, isn't it? Let's see here. Yep. Okay. So here's myth number 1, okay? Social Security's going broke. My dad told me when I was young, he probably heard it too, hey, you better save, you better invest, because Social Security's never going to be around when we retire. Well, you know what? It's funny. They've never missed a payment, and it's still around with $2.9 trillion in the trust fund. Biggest government trust fund in the world. Yep. Last year it ran a surplus. Pretty hard to believe. $3 billion. Off of $1 trillion ain't much, but I tell you what, it's still a surplus. That was in 2018. We might run a deficit in 19. We probably will for sure in 20. And you know what? The Social Security Administrations, the trustees say that this trust fund will run out of money in 2034. So you got about 14 years. So what happens if you got a $2,000 benefit and the trust fund goes bankrupt? How much will you make after that? Trust fund's bankrupt. A lot of people say none. It's bankrupt. But the funny thing is, how is Social Security funded? Payroll taxes. Payroll taxes. 6.2% goes in from us, the employee. If you're self-employed like I am, then there's another 6.2% that goes in. Interesting. So what happens is that it's a pay-as-you-go system. Well, that 12.4% would cover 80% of the benefit with no trust fund assets. Pretty interesting. It would go down, but there's still 3 people working. Here's the funny thing is, how many people were working in 1950? How many people were working to support each retiree that was taken from Social Security? 15 workers. What's it today? 3. Why? Because families aren't as big anymore. If you have 3 kids in a family, that's huge. And we have good Catholic Mormon families that had 10, 15 kids. You just don't see that anymore. No. We're not having nearly many kids. How about longevity? You know what the fastest growing age for demographics is? 100 plus. You know what the next fastest is? 90 plus. Yeah. We're an aging society. We're living longer. Medicine is much better. Physical exercise in the positive things about that is much better. There's just a lot of things that are much better. I was looking at old ads. I don't know, clicked it on my computer. It was saying amazing ads, and they had a doctor, and they said they're talking about Marlboro cigarettes, and he said, Marlboro, this is the cigarette that doctors most recommend. And he's smoking. This doctor's smoking a cigarette. Times have changed. My son has to laugh when I talk about smoking. Really, the only place when I was a kid that you couldn't smoke was the theater. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. The only place you could smoke was the church and school, the schoolroom and the church. Remember the teacher's lounge? They'd open up that door and it was just like a wildfire in there. Yeah, my kid gets a big kick out of, how could they smoke on planes? I just said they did. Nobody said anything. And the funny thing, remember they had restricted for planes, just certain areas for smoke, like it's not going to get in the rest of the plane? Yeah, bizarre. Things have changed a lot for health, for exercise. Yeah, people are living longer. When I talk like that, do I say that during my workshop? I might go off on a tangent like that. I'm a big believer that facts tell and stories sell. Emotion sells, right brain sells, left brain tells. If it was just the smartest people in the world, Einstein would have been the best salesperson. The best salespeople would be lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects, scientists. They're in reality, that left brain, normally they're the worst. So it isn't just learning the material. That's great. But then you got to go and get in front of people that have money that you're able to capture those assets. That's how we revenue, helping that person with their financial woes. And Social Security is a great way because so few advisors know it. When you get done coaching with me, will you know everything? No. But will you know a heck of a lot more than when you started? Yes. Absolutely. There's different solvency issues for Social Security. I talk about means testing. They're talking about taking from wealthy and giving to their Social Security and giving it to Social Security that don't make as much. It's wealth redistribution, kind of socialism. I'm not in favor of it, but it's actually gaining ground. And the amazing thing is, in retirement, they're talking about if you make about $50,000 in retirement, they're talking about taking money away from you. And that changes the crowd who's in favor of that type of politics in a hurry, normally. 50,000. But if you just increase, like, here's another story that I tell. I said, you know what? I mean, the full retirement age started in 1935 at 65. It was only raised 2 years. But look how much longer people are living. Why don't we just take the full retirement age and take it from 67 to 70 and raise the latest you can take it from 70 to 73? I said, if I tell my 28-year son right now this weekend, hey, Sam, they're going to raise the full retirement age on you from 67 to 70. You know what he tell me? Who cares? Give me another beer. And those are stories I tell. I mean, people, they're not big belly laugh stories, but they're stories that are kind of humorous. They get a chuckle out of them. I'm going to believe if people are kind of laughing with you, then they're with you. Remember full retirement age, 43 to 54, 66? Stair steps 2 months. 1960 and later is 67. Okay. If you take early, it's reduced. It's reduced by about 6% a year, from 62 to 66. So what happens if you take it 62? There's a 25% discount. So you get that benefit now. My wife, she got her benefit now, but it's reduced by 25%. And what will happen is that it's reduced forever. We know that. That's what we elected to do. It was in her best interest with my benefit. If you wait longer than full retirement age, so if you run from 43 to 54, age 66, it grows 8%. Delayed retirement credits. And how else can it grow? If there's cost of living. Think about if you have a $2,500 benefit, 8% guaranteed delayed retirement credits growing for 1 year, 66, 67, 67, 68. Throw a couple percent inflation on that. In 2 years, if you have a $2,500 benefit, in 2 years your benefit has grown over $500, like a mini pension. Now, do I go through all this information much slower with my coaching? Yeah, and we role play. Yeah, so you really understand it. But in the simplistics of spousal benefits, PIA, that's my amount at full retirement age, is $2,400. Dave's is $2,400. Amy's PIA is $1,000. When I made those slides, my wife's kind of a private person. She says, don't use our names. And I said, well, it certainly isn't the real figures. Yeah, $2,400 for me, $1,000 for Amy. Let's say we both take. Here's what happens. The high benefit always stays with the high benefiter. That's me. I get 2,400. Amy has the option of doing what? She has the option of taking all of her 1,000 or taking half of the spousal benefit, half a Dave's. What's half a Dave's? 1,200. What's higher, 1,200 or 1,000? 1,200. What does Amy make? 1,200. It's done automatically. You don't have to ask for it. What about Amy's never worked? She's been a stay-at-home mom, and say I'm a doctor making $1 million a year. Say I got 2,400 and she's got zero for her PIA. She never had. How many hours do you need? How many quarters do you need to have a Social Security benefit? 40. 40 hours. You need 40 hours to have a benefit, or basically 10 years. Yeah, each credit hour is like $1,410, a little over $1,400. That gives you a credit hour. You need 40, or a quarterly credit. You need 40 of those to have a Social Security benefit. Say Amy has no benefit. Dave has 2,400. I retire at 66. How much can Amy get? All of hers is how much? Zero, or half a Dave's, which is 1,200. She can still get 1,200, can't she? Yeah, same thing. I have to claim for her to get her benefit. That's called that's how the spousal benefit is figured out. Okay? Any questions there? If there are, type them in. Divorce spouse benefits. Here's the triple play if you're divorced for Social Security. You were married at least 10 years or longer. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62. If those three things line up, you can take your ex just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Spouses have more benefits going to them than single individuals. How about survivor benefit? Yeah, I'd say Dave's if someone dies. You know what? That's one thing that will happen. My wife always says nobody gets out of here alive. My dad died at 82 and my mom's 96. Get a load of this. She's dated the same guy for 9 years. He's 96. Mom lives in her own house. They take a trip every year. They went to Cancun last year. They've been to the Mediterranean on a cruise. They've been to Bahamas twice. They went to Hawaii. I mean, this guy's name is Dean Pearson, and I always say in the workshop, I get to laugh. I say, I want to date Dean. Yeah, I mean, the Social Security, if everyone lived to 96, the system would go broke. But people are living longer. Yeah, for survivor benefit, Dave's benefit is $2,000. Amy's benefit is $1,200. Dave dies. What can Amy do? The lower benefit, they can keep theirs or jump up to Dave's. What you going to do? Drop hers and jump up to mine. This is the interesting thing. Spousal benefits are done automatically by Social Security Administration. Not so. They don't know when the guy dies. You have to ask for this. If you don't ask, it's biblical. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So if Amy doesn't, when I die, if Amy doesn't ask, hey, so Social Security, I'm dead, and I want to jump up to Dave's benefit, they won't give it to her. Here's another great story, true story. You can certainly use this if you do Social Security workshops or work with me. Just say, I have a friend. This is a funny story. It's 10 years ago is about when I started really learning Social Security. I was doing a local Social Security workshop at the library here in my little town of Fremont. 27,000 people, 30 miles outside of Omaha. I have an office in Omaha also. But what happens is that this gal comes to me, signs up. She comes on in, and at the time, that's 10 years ago, so I was like 55 years old. She probably was 71, 72. She said, Mr. Pimper, and I always get a kick when people call me Mr. Pimper when they're a bunch older than I am. Mr. Pimper, you said something during the educational workshop that really concerned me. I said, well, what was that? She said, you said that if one spouse dies and that spouse has a higher benefit, the lower spouse could jump up to their benefit. Let their lower one go and jump up to a higher benefit. I said, that is correct. This is just like this is truthful. She says, well, I was told you couldn't. I said, well, who told you that? And she said, my brother. Oh, gosh. And I tell people, I say this story, people laugh, and I'll say, how'd you like to go to that next Thanksgiving dinner? And sit across, yeah. You know what? If you're getting advice on Social Security from your brother, you probably should. If you're getting it from your next door neighbor, you probably should. If you're getting it from your boss, you probably shouldn't. You can't get it from Social Security because they don't give advice. So who's available? Dave Pimper. I'm the one that gives advice. That's why so many people come in to see me for the free consultation, because we look at all the specifics that Social Security Administration can't do. What they can't tell you, I am. It's a secret until you talk to me. See, I tell you, that's why it's a great business to be in. That's how I talk. And I'll tell you, you don't have to I do it with passion. I do know the subject inside and out. But if you're coaching for Social Security seminars, guys and gals that are listening today, I'm not going to leave you stranded. I mean, I'm paid not on your hierarchy, not on your override. I'm paid by a stipend by IAMS out of their profitability. And you know what? If you keep producing, I keep getting a stipend. It's a win-win-win situation. Doesn't reflect anything on your commissions at all. I get calls virtually every single day for questions on Social Security. I wish I would have had that when I was learning. Yeah. In survivor benefits, I talked to a lot of women. Here's a cool thing. Let's say that you were that woman that had no benefit. And let's say that her doctor husband, who has a $3,000 benefit, dies at 68. He never even took it, let's say. Or let's just say this. Yeah, she can jump up to his benefit just like she's married to him. Let's say she has an $800 benefit and he's got a $3,000 benefit, and he takes his benefit and you're taking yours. You're divorced. You're not remarried. Marriage lasted longer than 10 years. You can jump your 800 to half of his 3,000, 15, just like you're married to him. Tons of Social Security folks that are divorced or divorce survivor don't take the benefit. We show them how to do that. Good. If any questions, type them in. Coordinating spousal benefits, file and suspend went away back in 2015. If you're born January 2nd or earlier than 1954, then you can go in and do restricted application. This gets complicated, but here's how it works. If you're born January 2nd of 1954 or before, you can use this. Of course, if you're over 70, you can't. But if you're in that 3 years there, Dave's primary insurance amount is $2,400. Amy's PIA is $1,000. We both claim. Say we're 66 for the benefit of this. Amy takes hers, she gets $1,000. I take mine, but stop it and restrict the application. Mine grows 8% cost of living each year until 70. It enables restriction, which is legal. Enables me to get half of Amy's benefit for a spousal benefit, while mine continues to grow 8%. How cool is that? That $500 is free money a month. Times 12 is $6,000 a year. If you could do it for 4 years, it's $24,000. $24,000. For 3 years, it's $18,000 of free money. It's a big deal. It's called restricted application. It's still available. Not as many now. There are reasons to claim early. Your health isn't good. You need the income now. I always joke about this when I say your health is great, but your 3 brothers have all died from lung cancer, and by the way, you're a smoker. I'd probably take early. But being uninformed, and I joke here too. I say, my broker dealer has a compliance department. It's not as strong as if you're an agent, but you know what happens is, first I had being ignorant, and they thought that was a little harsh. So now I say, being uninformed. You don't want to hear 2 years later, boy, if I would have only known that, you know what? I'd have done something different. That's what you don't want to do. There is an annual earnings test. If you're under full retirement age, and this is now in 2020, it's $18,240. A little over 18,000. 18,240. If you make it about that, the Social Security is going to take half of your money away. $1 for every 2. If it's about 45,000, it'll take away all the money. Now, they actually give it back to you in a stipend once you turn full retirement age, but they take it away quickly and they give it to you over your life expectancy with no interest. Most of the time, it's not worth. If you have an income that's a pretty fair income, a full-time income, it isn't worthwhile to go in and take it because of the earnings test. That has nothing to do with taxation. Social Security myth number 3, so we skip 2. you're going to get the biggest family benefit waiting to 70, and I talk about Amy taking it to 62. I talk about it's the worst water cooler talk. Yeah, it is. There are do-overs. If you pay it back, start it and pay it back in the first year, you can do it one time like it never happened. If your full retirement age are over and you should have done it earlier, you can retro it 6 months. Pretty cool. If you start your benefit at 62 and at 64 you say get a new job and you say, hey, you know what? I didn't think I was going to work, but this is a great job. I want to stop my Social Security. You can't. You can't stop it if you start it until you turn 66. At full retirement age, now you can stop it. Now I'm going through pretty quickly, but I'll tell you, there's just so much to Social Security. And if you don't know it, you should. Now, if you're not working with that pre-retired or just retired or retired crowd, no, then you know what? Someone that's 30 years old is not important, Social Security. They don't have questions. But once you start turning 50, 55, my average age of the person that I'm working with is 63, 64, 65. That's my average age, 63, 64. What also happens is, I don't know if you do, but if you do Medicare Sup, what a beautiful time to be the first ones to talk to those people. Medicare Supplement is simple compared to Social Security. But if you're a Med Sup person, it just rolls right with this of getting that Med Sup business. Yeah, provisional income. That's your adjusted gross income, no Social Security included. Then half of your Social Security, then all your muni bond interest. There's brackets. If you're under them, you don't pay any. If you're in the middle, you pay 50% of your Social Security is taxed. And then if you're married filing jointly above 44,000, those brackets came out in '83 in the Reagan regimen, and they've never been adjusted for COLA. So when it started, everybody was paying, or no one was paying taxation on Social Security. Now the majority of my clients do. Reducing taxation, yeah, a lot of ways. Remember, Roths are not taxed. Muni bonds are, but Roths are not. So I believe of Roth and Roth IRAs. Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. Wrong. They can't give you advice. They can give you best benefit now. This comes right from their program's operational manual system. Look at D. Here's what they're taught. Provide enough information so that claimants, people coming into Social Security Administration, can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Wild. Yeah, it's not a standalone. It's the most flexible of the 5 income streams. Claim at your right time. I do this off of a worksheet: wages, pensions, income-producing assets, RMDs, on traditional IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, etc. And then how Social Security, the flexibility of Social Security, you decide where to take it amongst your other 4 income streams. The nice thing on a worksheet, I find out on number 3, that's the money number. That's where I find out what's 401ks, what IRAs. I just had one yesterday from Social Security. It's with Zurich, and he has 175,000. That has no one helping him with it, no advisor. His advisor died, and it's just been there. And he said, "Well, it's done pretty good." Well, yeah, market's done pretty good. Wait till the market takes a big hit, which it will before it's all said and done. That's where we get all the assets, and we do that. We search for that when they come in. At the end, I talk about, there's a whole bunch of different benefits, but there's a lot to consider for your best decision. There certainly is. Yeah, this seminar, for $2,500 to be guaranteed 25 buying units, you got 3 coachings are included with Social Security. I'm going to coach you up on Social Security. And will you know everything? No, you won't. But there's a book that you order. It's about $20. But if you put in 8 to 10 hours a week for 4 weeks and you're coaching with me, I'm telling you what, you're going to be well equipped to talk to anybody. If you got a stumper of a question, don't have to look it up online. Just call me. I won't tell you. I know there's 2,700 rules. Do I know 2,700 rules? Of course not. People at Social Security Administration don't. But do I know all of the big rules? I do. I do. And if I don't, then I just go up on the Palms, that program's operational manual system. I can get into it. If you know how to, I do, and I find out the answer. You get free software with that for 3 months also, and of course you get the presentation. I've done 507 public workshops. I got another one coming up tomorrow, and then another one coming up on next Tuesday, or next Wednesday. Yeah, I've done a bunch of them. Things have changed. I try to take a complicated subject and make it easier. There's no meals. This is at the library or a community center. Mass Media Group is the one who does the Facebook advertising, and they're great. They're great. They'll do over $12 million of buying media, including Facebook marketing this year. They're huge, and they're very well run. I talk about procrastination. I say procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop tomorrow. Bear with me just for one quick sec. I want to talk about so I say, folks, who are the most successful people? Yeah, it's the one who take action. I say, am I almost 40 years in this business? I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me and say, Dave, you can't believe how much money I made from procrastinating. I got rich off of procrastinating. What's Nike shoe company's slogan? Just do it. Just do it. And then I go right into the evaluation form. See, I'm basically telling the folks that are out there, if you don't take action, you're not going to be as successful as you could if you take action. And that's the truth in life. And I mean, they know where I'm going with this. I don't try to do it subconsciously. I'm pretty open about it. People who take action, what you don't want to do is not come in and not get your free analysis and your 11-page report and information from me. You don't want to come back in 2 years and say, boy, Dave, because I didn't come in and see you, I had no idea that was available for me. 2,700 rules. Could some of them apply to you? Absolutely. And so I have dates and times marked off for the next 2 weeks. And then the times are a grouping of times. So my grouping of times, here's what they say. They say morning 8 a.m. to 11:30, early afternoon 12 to 2, afternoon 2:30 to 4:30, late 5 to 6. So I say, put your best date, your best time. Please put a phone number on there that we can catch you during the day. I know you're busy. We're certainly busy lining up so many appointments. We want to get this all done tomorrow. So when we call, yeah, call us back. If it goes into voicemail, call us on your lunch break or your midday break. We want to get all those, make sure that all of our appointments are done tomorrow. And then my last slide, and I kind of put this slide together. But I'll say everybody knows who George Foreman is, right? Big George, yeah, heavyweight champion of the world, made a ton of money. Last heavyweight crown, he's got it when he was 45. He boxed professionally till he's 48. But where did George make the majority of his money? And then someone will say the George Foreman Grill, and I'll say you're exactly right. And then I'll say, Google, look at it. You know how much he made to sign his name years ago to the grill? $136.5 million, mostly in cash, some stock, not counting some of the overrides that he gets, ongoing money. The grill's made George Foreman rich. So, folks, I'm going to tell you something. Here's how I'm going to leave tonight. Unless you have your name on a grill, you need to mark yes and come in and see me. And then people laugh, or they might even applaud. They have their yellow sheet. They're filling it out. We want 10 to 12 minimum appointments out of the 2,500. So the appointments are going to probably run a couple hundred. My last Social Security workshop, Scouts Honor again, I had 24 appointments. And you normally will have one appointment out of 10 will drop out. 1 out of 10 drops out. Tell you what, it's a heck of a system. It really, really is. Scott, could you do this? Could you put up the poll right now? And if you'd like to get more information on Social Security and or Social Security seminar, educational seminar marketing, then you need to mark yes on this poll that's going to be coming up here just in a sec. Because what happens is we're going to find a time for about 20 minutes maybe or so, and we're going to go on in and it'll be Nicole or normally Nicole or Lisa will call you. Hey, Scott, can you get that up and going? I'm sure he's there just waiting to get it up. But yeah, this gives you a chance to go in and to talk with me. This gives you a chance to go in and to get that appointment, talk about what your marketing is. And I'll tell you right now, I'm looking for people who are looking to go in and to get help, with getting in front of more people. So what happens is that, hey, Scott, If you're there, I want you to put the poll up. I think eventually he's going to do this. So what happens is that it is up to you whether you kind of take action. What happens on this is that I work every day in this profession. I've done it since 1981. I love the financial service arena, but I always say it's a pretty simple business, but of course it isn't an easy business or everybody to be in it. It's very hard to make a living in this business if you don't see enough people. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to go on and get you in front of more qualified prospects. That's what we're trying to do. Hold on just for a sec. Yeah, I don't. And so what happens is most people just don't have, just aren't in front of enough people. So here's what we're going to do. I don't know why the poll didn't come up, and I apologize for that. But what we're going to do is we're going to call. I'm going to have them call everyone that was on the. I just don't know why it's not up. But hey, Scott. So Scott is there, but the poll is not up, and I apologize for that. That's kind of a technical situation. It's kind of a bad thing on our part, but we're going to call everyone. If you have interest, also what you can do is you can call into IAMS and just ask if you'd like to speak with Dave Pimper. It's an 800 number that goes into IAMS. Actually, there is and I apologize for being so late of getting that up. That's my fault. I apologize for that. But if you mark yes on this, then we can go in and we will sit down on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes, and we will go in and I will certainly give you a call. So what happens is that most people don't get in front of enough people. With Social Security claiming seminars, you certainly can. I'm going to turn this back over to Scott, and I'm going to have to scoot out of this. I have an appointment that's been waiting for about 5 minutes in the waiting room. But thank you very, very much. Please mark yes. I'd love to talk to you. Love to go in and get your production up. Scott, can you hear me or not? So I think Scott has lost the video or the audio, but hopefully you're able to hear me if you're still on. So please mark yes and have a really, really good day, everybody. Thank you very much for attending. Bye-bye.